until it is done.
Doom 2016 is such an incredible game. Now this game is just like all the older Doom games that I remember, so I have never played Doom 2016 before until just recently, and I was just blown away. It is so good, and I mean, the older Doom games that I did play in the past, I remember enjoying, but not like this. Like, this game is just incredible, and it is just such a good game with shotgun shells, blood, gore, and rock music just blaring the entire time, and it just really gets your heart racing at certain points in the game, and the combat and everything just gets more and more advanced as you move through, and it is one of the most fun and incredible experiences I've had with a first-person shooter in a very, very long time. Now, starting out in this game, you're playing as the Doom Slayer, and you just are laying down, and you break out of those shackles as you saw, and you take out one of the first demons, and just the whole start of the game is just so good. Starts off super intense, gets you right into the action right away. And that's one thing about this game, is there is no low point, slow point, or anything. You are running and gunning the entire game, and it is definitely a game you can't really expect to slow down or give you much for breaks at all, because there's enemies almost everywhere that you go, and there are lots of cool weapons that you can use, and it just makes the experience so incredible. Now, there are cool little collectibles that you can find and secrets that you can find, like these little action figures in the game, and then there's also a few throwback, I guess, little rooms and stuff that I will show later in the video that you can find as well. And these secrets are spread throughout every single stage, and it's pretty cool. Allows you to, if you're a gamer that strives to go for secrets and you like to find all the collectibles and 100% complete games, then it definitely is intriguing to certain people that way. For myself, I just liked running and gunning, and I love playing FPSs and getting the movement and the combat down. I find it so much fun especially once you master the combat in a first-person shooter. They always feel like such incredible games and such an incredible gaming experience. Now, this game's story isn't crazy by any means, but it does a good amount just to keep you engaged. There is enough story there that definitely, it's not like you're just playing a game where you're just beating up enemies and that's the whole game. You're just running and gunning. There is a bit of a story to this game as well, and I haven't played yet, so I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard that Doom Eternal takes a little bit more of a deeper dive into the story, and the game itself has a little bit more extensive story than Doom 2016, but I haven't played it yet, so I'm not too sure, but you guys can definitely let me know which game you preferred, because it seems like a lot of people just rave about Doom Eternal, and I'm excited to play that game very, very soon, because Doom 2016 is just so good. Like, I'm so invested, and I can't wait for Doom the Dark Ages to come out as well. But let's get more into the story here. So Dr. Olivia Pierce is just super invested in trying to connect the world with hell, and then that's why all these demons are showing up everywhere. So as the Doom Slayer, you're trying to stop this, and then you find out later on that Argent Tower is her key to opening up a permanent way for all the demons to connect into the world. So it is going to be a permanent portal, and as Doomslayer, you're trying to stop that. So that's basically the whole gist of the story. There's not a whole bunch of story, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone, because there's a lot of cool lore pieces that you pick up, and that's the way that this game tells its story, is not so much through playing the game, but you'll find lore along the way that as you read into the lore and investigate a little bit more on your own after you discover a bunch of the lore pieces, then you find out all the details. So it's pretty cool. I like games like this. Like, that's how I remembered Destiny being, the original Destiny from 2014. Not the second game. The second game I didn't really enjoy that much, but I remember the original Destiny being that way, where You found out the gameplay itself from the campaign wasn't incredible by any means, but you found out a lot of the story from the hidden lore. And then also games like Halo also did this as well, where a lot of the hidden lore that you found out throughout the game told you a little bit more about the past and what had happened before. So I quite enjoy games like that. I find there's quite a few first-person shooter examples that do this, where they don't have a whole pile of story in the actual campaign that they tell you, but through the lore pieces you find out more about the background and the story and the past, which I just think is really, really cool. I really enjoy games that way myself, that tell story that way. Like, there's just enough in the campaign to keep you entertained, but then you do some extra reading through the lore pieces that you find, and it just adds even more and lets you kind of have your imagination as things were in the past, or how everything kind of came to be. So now, of course, it's a Doom game. I got to cover all the weapons. There's lots of weapons that you get to use. So you start out with just a little pistol. There's not a whole lot of use with it. I didn't use it hardly at all, unless if I literally ran out of ammo almost completely. And then you get a shotgun. The combat shotgun's really, really good. You can get the charged burst, or you have like a bomb shot type of thing that you can shoot little grenades out of. It turns into a little bit of a grenade launcher if you use that upgrade instead of the charged burst. But after using both, I quite found I like the charge burst quite a bit more with the combat shotgun. And then you also have your double barrel shotgun, which just packs a heavier punch than the combat shotgun. So I was always changing between the two, but both the shotguns were absolutely amazing. And then you also got a rocket launcher, which once you got the homing missiles where you could lock onto targets, and the rocket launcher would shoot 3 rockets and they would target enemies, like that just became such an incredible weapon, and especially a very, very good boss killer. Like, I used it a lot against the bosses in this game. Like, the charged homing rocket launcher was just so good against bosses. It packed a really good punch. And then you had the plasma rifle, which was okay. I didn't use it a pile. It worked okay. It did some decent damage, but it wasn't one of my favorite weapons. It was probably one of my least favorite weapons. I just didn't use it a whole bunch, or didn't find it all that incredibly useful. And then there was also a assault rifle, which I really liked. I used the assault rifle a lot. It was a very good long-range gun. It worked very, very good at faraway ranges, and it was just overall a very, very good weapon to use. And I found that there was a headshot bonus upgrade that you could use, and then when you aim down sights, and if you hit headshots, they did more damage. And I really liked it when I did that, because then I would just pick off enemies from a decent distance and get the headshots, and it did really, really good, especially against those flying head enemies. Like, it just did really, really good against those enemies especially too, and anything at a distance really. And the chain gun was pretty decent as well. It's like any type of chain gun in any first person shooter. You got to wind it up for quite a while, spin it up before it actually does a lot of damage, but once you had it spun up, then it did quite a number especially on the tougher enemies or bosses. Like, it worked really, really good once you had it spun right up and good to go. But that gun I liked quite a bit, but I didn't use it a pile. But the Gauss cannon was probably the Gauss cannon, and then that double barrel super shotgun. Those two probably, and the combat shotgun with the charge burst. I guess those 3 guns were probably my 3 favorites. And then the heavy assault rifle was really, really good up there as well. Those 4, probably my favorite 4 weapons in the whole game. Rocket launcher had a lot of use as well. Like, honestly, the only gun I didn't really use a pile was the plasma rifle, or the pistol, I guess. But the pistol I didn't use hardly at all. But yeah, the Gauss cannon was phenomenal. Like, you could pick off enemies from super far, charge it up, and then do extra damage. And it just did so much damage to some of the harder enemies. And it worked great as like a sniper rifle. And it was just incredible. One of the best guns in the game for sure for long distance. And even worked even up close. There was quite a bit of times I used it up close to pick off enemies, just because it did so much damage. But those are all the guns. Like, they're all incredible in their own ways. The rocket launcher was incredible for bosses. The Gauss cannon was incredible for picking off enemies at a distance, and did a lot of damage to bosses as well. And then the heavy assault rifle, I basically just used at distance, and it was good at distance. And then, of course, the shotguns up from close range, nothing would beat them up close. But yeah, all the guns were just so incredible in their own ways. And the combat, like cycling between the guns, just reminded me of Ratchet and Clank, where you have like a wheel of your different guns. You hold a button, and then you can change between all your different guns. And it just reminded me of Ratchet and Clank that way, where you have a weapon wheel to select all your different guns, which I really, really liked. I just thought that was super slick. Easy way to manage all your weapons. And yeah, all the weapons are just so good in this game. The combat in general just felt so good. The movement was incredible, and everything about this game was just amazing. Like, this is by far my favorite first-person shooter game I have played in years. Like, I am not even kidding when I say that. If you haven't played Doom 2016, which I feel like I'm just way out to lunch and way late on this, I feel like most people probably have played it by now, but if you haven't, you got to pick it up and play it. It is so incredible. It's not too expensive on the PlayStation Store if you want to pick it up digitally, and I know that I got it physically and it wasn't that expensive either, like $30 physically in the Slayers collection. So I mean, I highly recommend this game. You guys got to try it if you haven't already. It is amazing. And if you guys have played this game and Doom Eternal, let me know what you guys think. Is Doom Eternal better, or is Doom 2016 better? I'm excited to hear, and I plan on playing Doom Eternal very, very shortly, because that game I've heard nothing but good things about, and if it's anything like Doom 2016, I'm going to be absolutely in love with it, because this game is my favorite first-person shooter that I've played in a long, long time. It has been many, many years. Now, as I always do with my videos, I'm going to let the end of the game play out here. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. And if you did, leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next one.
You've won. It's over. You stopped the invasion and closed the portal. But it's come at a price. Argent, Vega, this entire operation. You see, I've watched you work, come to understand your motivation. You think the only way is to kill them all, leave nothing behind. And you may be right. But we can't just shut it all down. Without Argent energy, it will be worse. I don't expect you to agree. But with this, we can continue our work. I am not the villain in this story. I do what I do because there is no choice.
Rerouting tether coordinates complete.
Our time is up. I can't kill you, but I won't have you standing in our way. Until we see each other again.